83 meters.
さあ、ウィンドファクターでマイナス6.1ポイント引かれました。そしてトータル30.8ポイント。2番田中翔太、日本。今シーズン調子を上げている田中翔太。さあ、スタート。テイクオフ。95メーター。
95 meters.
さあ、ウィンドファクターでマイナス8.1ポイントとなりました。ゲートファクターでは0ポイント。そしてトータル54.9ポイント。3番栃本翔平、日本。
Number 3 Shohei Tochimoto, Japan.
テイクオフ。107メーター50。
107.5 meters.
さあ、そしてウィンドファクターでマイナス13ポイント。そしてトータルで74.0ポイント。4番渡辺裕明、日本。
Number 4 Hiroaki Watanabe, Japan.
さあ、調子を上げている渡辺裕明。刺激も今常備しておりました。テイクオフ。118メーター50。
118.5 meters.
さあ、そしてウィンドファクターでマイナス 10.3 ポイント。そしてトータル 99.0 ポイント。5番伊藤健志郎、日本。
Number 5 Kenshiro Ito, Japan.
さあ、本日地元下川からたくさんの後輩たちが応援に来ている伊藤健志郎。テイクオフ。114メーター。
114 meters.
マイナス14.2ポイントでトータル 85.5 ポイント。6番岡部貴信、日本。
Number 6 Takanobu Okabe, Japan.
さあ、目指すは再度世界のヒノキ舞台。さあ、テイクオフ。117メーター。
117 meters.
さあ、そして高信のポイント、ウィンドファクターでマイナス 14.7 ポイント引かれました。さあ、そしてトータルポイント 89.4 ポイントで現在2位。 7番ネッチ・デスマンスロベニア
Number 7, Nate Desman, Slovenia.
最後1ですね。テイクオフ。98メーター50。
98.5 meters.
さあ、ネッチレツマンのポイント、ウィンドファクターでマイナス14.2ポイント。そしてトータル55.1ポイントで現在5位。8番、チェ・フンチュ、韓国。
Number 8, Honchul Choi, Korea.
105メーター。
105 meters.
さあ、チェ・フンチュ、韓国から来ました。そしてウィンドファクターでマイナス14.5ポイント。そしてトータル68.0ポイントで現在5位。そしてトップは渡辺弘明。9番ヤルネイ・ダミアンスロベニア。
Number 9, Yarnai Damian, Slovenia.
さあ、スロベニアからやってきたヤルネイ・ダミアン、毎年日本に来日しております。テイクオフ。114メーター50。
114.5 meters.
さあ、そしてウィンドファクターマイナス21.5ポイント。そしてトータル79.6ポイントで現在4位。10番アトレ・ペデルセン・レンゼンノルウェー。
Number 10, Atle Pedersen Roensen, Norway.
さあ、先週のコンチネンタルカップから日本に来ております。アトレ・ペデルセン・レンゼンノルウェースタート。テイクオフ。117メーター50。
117.5 meters.
さあ、飛距離は K ポイント手前。さあ、そしてウィンドファクターでマイナス14.7ポイント。そしてトータル 93.3 ポイントで現在2位。11番ピーター・プラネットアメリカ。
Number 11, Peter Fernet, USA.
テイクオフ。118メーター50。
118.5 meters.
さあ、ピーター・プラネットディスタンスは118メートル50。そしてウィンドファクターでマイナス 9.9 ポイント。そしてトータル 97.4 ポイントで現在2位。カレントリーダーは渡辺弘明日本。12番伊藤大輝日本。
Number 12, Daiki Ito, Japan.
さあ、日本のエース伊藤大輝の登場。 テイクオフ。127メーター。
127 meters.
さすが大輝、素晴らしいジャンプを見せてくれました。そしてウィンドファクターでちょっと大きいマイナス 15.4 ポイント。さあそしてトータルポイント 111.2 ポイントでカーレントリーダー。13番トーマス・ナグリチ、スロベニア。
Number 13, Tomas Naklic, Slovenia.
さあトーマス・ナグリチスタート。テイクオフ。110メーター。
110 meters.
さあ110メートルを飛んだトーマス・ナグリチ、ウィンドファクターでマイナス 18.4 ポイント。そしてトータル 73.6 ポイントと現在9位。14番キム・レーネ・エルベルム・ソーセン、ノルウェー。
Number 14, Kim Rene Elverum Sorsel, Norway.
さあソーセルも先週のコンチネンタルカップでから日本に来ております。テイクオフ。114メーター。
114 meters.
さあキム・レーネ・エルベルム・ソーセル。さあウィンドファクターでマイナス 14.5 ポイント。そしてトータル 85.2 ポイントで現在7位。トップは伊藤大輝。15番ダスティ・コレック、カナダ。
Number 15, Dusty Correct, Canada.
さあダスティ・コレックスタート。テイクオフ。104メーター。
104 meters.
さあダスティ・コレック、ウィンドファクターでちょっと大きいかな、マイナス 23.3 ポイント。そしてトータル 57.4 ポイントで現在12位。16番マルコ・グリゴリ、スイス。
Number 16, Marco Bricoli, Switzerland.
スタート。テイクオフ。106メーター50。
106.5 meters.
さあそしてウィンドファクターでマイナス 13.9 ポイント、トータル 71.3 ポイントで現在11位。そしてトップはまだ日本の伊藤大輝です。 127m50。
127.5 meters.
さあ大きなジャンプが決まりました。そしてウィートファクターポイント10マイナス19ポイント、そしてトータル109.0ポイントで現在4位。
When he's very much in the groove, and Werner Schuster, his head coach, will be pretty pleased with that. He's at the moment only 47th in the World Cup rankings, but look at that wind deduction. 21, let's call it 22 points. That's like taking 12 meters off. So it's effectively reducing it to like 116, and the style, when he gets away with 17.5, 18, the only real fault was in the landing phase there. Goes into 5th place. And now for Watasi. Well, those of you who follow the circuit will know very well that Yuta Watasi has exuded anything but confidence in Europe. And that's pretty modest. Just looking back through his performances here in Sapporo, well, you've got to go back to 2010 since he last scored some points here, but 2009 when he was 5th, and that's his best ever result in any World Cup competition. So Christoph Miertus, the man who ran into trouble during the team competition in Zakopane, trying to rebuild a little bit, and that's better. Just had a bad day at the office, particularly in the second of those two team competitions. But for that, if he just kept up around the calculation line in Zakopane, I'm pretty sure that Poland would have taken the team event. In the event, they allowed Slovenia to steal it away. Mietus up into 5th place. Almost relief there. The youngster coached by Lukas Krocek. He's only 21. And now the bearded Ilya Rasilyakov from Moscow these days. 8 years older than Miatov.
Take off.
Never right. And I'm afraid that isn't going to qualify. That is just not strong enough to get into the next round.
103.5 meters.
Well, disappointing from Rasilyakov, but they still have Vasiliev to come, and now Roman Kudelka for the Czech Republic. Roman, who was 10th best for the Czech Republic and for himself last year in the World Cup, and was a real consistent performer. Hasn't quite got back to that level this season, and there's another disappointing effort. It's almost as if Roman is just wanting it just that little bit too much. And well, 18th on New Year's Day in Garmisch, 21st in Wiesla. Those are his 2 best performances. But you know, when you look back at last season, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 top 10s. That was a remarkable season and gave him his best ever ranking. And so to the re-energized Martin Schmidt, having fun at the age of 34, and could a 29th victory be a possibility? Now, he wasn't particularly exciting in the trial round. That doesn't matter. He needs to get there now to give himself an attacking chance. And it's barely there, I have to say. The wind not quite as strong, but just shy of the calculation line. And Martin, he won't be terribly happy with this. It's a little better than the trial round, but he can't look forward to anything like an 18 in terms of style marks. It's going to be 17 and a half at best, I would think. And 9th place. Now call that 100 points. That puts him at the moment 17 points behind the current leader, which is like being 9 meters off the pace. So a lot of work to do for Martin Schmidt. Very difficult to see him winning on this particular day. Gila, though, for Poland, very much on the upward curve, confidence high and really enjoying the atmosphere and crowd in Zakopane. And more importantly at Wiesla, where he set a lifetime best of finishing in 6th place. And 117 and a half, that front wind dropping now, so not quite so much strength. It can be your friend, it can be your enemy as well, particularly on the in-run if he becomes very, very strong. And 97.4 points, and he's at the moment not in a qualifying position. Kobayashi, Deshvandan, Ito, Ingvaldsen, Mietus, Mechler, Sakuyama, Yanda. Those are the men who have a qualifying position at the moment for the second round. Yanda, 123 meters and 99.7 points. That's a guide threshold. Kubatsky. Well, not the most elegant of performances by Kubatsky, I have to say, but again, just underlining the potential that Poland have got, particularly in the World Championship team event in Val-di-Fiemme. We'll be going out to the World Championships in Val-di-Fiemme next month on the 18th, which is a couple of days before we kick off with the first cross-country event, and we're there all the way until the 3rd of March. Kubatsky into 7th place, but again that leaves him 16 points off the lead. So it sort of suggests that, you know, he's going to have to raise his game like Martin Schmidt and hope that the likes of Kobayashi and Deshpanden run into trouble on the second round. It's going to be a combination of both to close that sort of gap. Heibock, still not convincing. From Hinsenbach in Upper Austria, but still only 21, so that is a good thing on his side. The youngster who won the Junior World Individual title in 2010 and a couple of gold medals with the young Austrians. And there is the Principality of, the city of Sapporo, as you see. Now you just need to concentrate on the top 10 here, which is Yanda, because he's in 10th place, and those are the only 10 who at this particular moment in time are actually qualified for the second round. Mathematically, that is, because there are, as you can see, 20 to come. And so for some of the others, like Martin Schmidt, to squeeze into the second round, somebody has got to fail out of the next 20. And I guess that is a possibility. Now, Martin Schmidt, 119.5, and just 0.3 behind Jakob Yanda, the key points threshold. Thomas Naglic disqualified. I'm guessing that will be the suit, and indeed it is the suit. I've just checked on our message board, and that's really disappointing. This is the man who leads, and most immediately to take up the challenge, we have Denis Kornilov, and then just around the corner, Noriaki Kasai, who came back early, missed the Polish competitions to try and find his form. Didn't compete in Continental Cup, Kasai. He just concentrated on training at home. And then Jan Matura. So he could be not too far away from a new leader here. And I'm thinking about Jan Matura particularly. Now, Kornilov, frustrating. One of so many who really puts two good efforts together in the same competition. This 26-year-old from Nizhny Novgorod, east of Moscow by some way. And that's not a great platform either. Now, 99.4 points, that's the key margin here. If Kornilov has got less than 99.4 points, which is entirely possible, then Martin Schmidt will have found a place in the second round. Oh, 95.1, and that means that Kornilov allows Martin Schmidt to advance into the top 30, so Martin Schmidt definitely with a qualifying place. And the next man is hoping that things are going to go his way is Piotr Zhila. Now he's got 97.4, so this is the Czech Republic's Lukas Chlava. Nicely done, and Chlava will definitely take his place in the top 30. Again, style should be consistently in the 18 range, and the landing really nice. Spacing was good, back was nice, and fourth place, 110. Only 7 points off the lead for Chlava. So a bit more encouragement for the Czech Republic. They've got two in the... Just having a look at that. Chlava with 2 in the top 10 at the moment. Now Kasai. Best Japanese at the moment. Daiki Ito in 3rd place. And Zhila still now looking for his place in the top 30, but Kasai does not let either himself or his fans or indeed the Japanese team down. 40 He is in his 41st year, this winner of 15 World Cup competitions in his time. The wind minus 12.2, so that's relatively benign, and it's going to push him up, actually. 127.5 meters. So clearly the early exit from Europe has paid off, because he's into third place now. Kobayashi leading for Japan, Deschwanden, Switzerland, then Kasai, then Ito. So 3 Japanese jumpers in the top 4. It's a bit sparse on spectators, but those who've made it now beginning to warm to this competition. Now, hopefully not the commentator's curse, because Matura, 133 meters, has that sort of really encouraging look on his face. Let's hope he makes it count. Good power and thrust, aggression, and sails over there. That was really good, going for 130. And Jan Matura lets neither himself or his team, or indeed myself, down. 132 minus 8.4. This is going to take the lead. The ski's not quite level throughout the flight phase and not so solid on the support leg, so that might knock him down by half a point by 1 or 2 of the judges. And 17.5 to 18.5, but takes Kobayashi off the podium, and he has an 11.4 point lead. And now the Czech Republic, just having a look at this, with 3 men in the top 12. So David Juracek will be feeling a lot happier. Yuri Tepes played his part in the Slovenian team success in Zakopane, and he hits the 130 line as well. This 23-year-old from Ljubljana, and 133.5, but minus 15. Now that's like taking off another 7 points, which is about 3 to 4 meters, and that could really affect him. The style is better than Matura, and that wind differential, 124.2, has played into Matura's hands. So Czech Republic leading from Slovenia, Kobayashi from Japan in 3rd place, and now Bulgaria's number 1, the one and only 19-year-old Vladimir Zagravsky, looked after by his dad Emil, but so far so good. These two who've worked together. Son now finds himself in 24th place in the overall World Cup rankings. Could be well up there with the leaders after this flight. But, in fact, quite the opposite. So that's a big miss, and just having a look at this now, Gila about to qualify, because he's got 97.4 points, and I'm afraid Zagravsky way below that, 76.2, and is effectively out of the competition. Just wondering whether Zagravsky actually could have done with a break. But obviously their thoughts were to come here and gather in some useful World Cup points. Now, Robert Kranitz, top Slovenian, Yuri Tepes in 2nd place. Kranitz, little by little, has been recovering his best form. And that is a challenging performance there. Goran Janus, a big, strong gust of wind, front wind. So the deduction will be big, 137. And that's only 3 meters short of the hill record. 137 is 3 meters beyond the hillside, but you can see there that big wind deduction, 19 points, and still Jan Matura holds off Kranitz in this case by just under a meter. Andreas Vank, you can see how tall he is when he's standing next to some of the other athletes, but even when he sits on the bar, you can see that this 24-year-old from Oberhof is pretty well one of the tallest on the circuit. still got Neumar to come. And Freund. And Vank, pretty nice, high 120s, and the execution was good. The wind remains very strong, so that's the only thing in terms of the deduction that's against him. 128, lovely skis, and Vank, a bit uncomfortable on the landing, and that costs him a bit, but top 10, 109, and that's the best part of 20 points off the lead, which is like being 11.5 meters behind the current leader, Jan Matura. Now, Taku Takushi. 7th in Zakopane last Saturday. And those were welcome points because he hadn't scored any other World Cup points since Kusamo at the beginning of December. This is better than the trial round, but you can see there just missing out on the landing there. It's in the high teens, 116, but just looking at who else is trying to squeeze into a qualifying position. Very modest qualification, I have to say, from Takushi, so he'll be going early. Now Maciej Kot for Poland, who aren't figuring too strongly on the leaderboard at this particular moment. Kubacki in 14th place. Still got Kamil Stock to come as well. And the 122s, the 123s there, but the wind had dropped considerably. And the indication is about a 6-point deduction. Now that will make some sort of a difference here because he's been up against men who've been getting deductions of 15 and 14 points. So he'll be a little higher than you might have imagined at first place, 11th place. Now Neumar. Mechler down in 12th place. There, Vank in 9th, but Neumar could certainly put himself right up there. Now, can he get the distance and the telemark landing? Skis a little split during the flight. Distance, yes, 128, 129. Landing, not too bad. So Neumar surely destined to become the top-ranked German. 130. And that wind deduction, I suspect that's going to come down a little bit. Oh no, 12.5 it is, but he's still in 4th place. But you can see there, just 118 achieved with the Austrian judge. But Neumar actually 11 points off the leader, Jan Matura. That's more than 6 meters. Wolfgang Leutzel. 13th here last year. It's not been a hugely happy hunting ground for Wolfgang Leutzel, but steady. Got a 3rd place finish here in 2009, which was his best ever performance year, the year in which he won the 4 Hills and was ranked 3rd overall for the World Cup season. Leutzel to put Austria on the map here. You have to admire Jan Matura's performance in comparison, because Jan Matura 132, but the wind deduction was only minus 8.4. Now Vasiliev. Popular amongst many of you who watch ski jumping, and a lot of you would be delighted to see this man win a World Cup. And just a little bit snatched at the telemark landing end, the touchdown phase there, and that'll be reflected in the marks. But again, 126.5, and it'll be in that sort of 17.5 range. But just having a look at the sort of distance this could put him into, he's going to be in with a reasonable opportunity to challenge in the second round. So it's not that bad. 8th place, 114. So in sheer distance, 8 meters to find for him. And Peter Proitz currently in 12th place in the World Cup rankings. And that's, well, you could just see there the landing. Interesting to see how the style judges, you could see with the rotating arms, but the distance is very good, but so is the win from the front. 25 points. So this 135.5, it isn't going to lead. He does get the telemark, although there is at least one judge in there, and that's Yoshihiro Takahata, who didn't think he got it. You can see that 16.5 in there. And he's down in 7th place for Slovenia. Top Slovenian still Yuri Tepes. And now, hold your breath for Tom Hilda, because to be perfectly honest, although he was 10th in Wiesla, he's at the moment not particularly stable, and he didn't show up well in the trial round either. When it matters, he finds it, and have a look at that, because that is really going after big meters, and he's got them. He's got a big wind deduction, but can he put a second effort together? 136. That's 4 meters further than Jan Matura, but it's also 10 points more to be deducted because of the wind strength. That's like taking off 6 meters, so he can't lead, but both Hilda and Stocker pretty happy with that. Norway's top man, Tom Hilda. Matura, Kranitz, Hilda, Tepes, Neumar, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really good international mix here. 11 points separating the top 5. That's 6 meters. Wearing bib number 50, Kamil Stock. Well, he didn't win in Sakopane. He was 3rd there. He's had 3 podiums now. He's moved up to 7th overall in the rankings. And this should be a real opportunity for him at the moment. The wind in that middle range of front strength. Quiet and deceptive. And 126-ish for Stock, but he's going to have to raise his game in the second round. 127.5, better than I proposed. Style-wise, usually pretty solid. And the wind deduction, 12.5, compared with likes of Hilda, 18.1, or Kranitz, 19. But top 10, 116, and that's a 12-point deficit. A little bit more than that, actually, knocking on 13 points. Andy Kofler. Kofler continuing, trying to rebuild. He was on the podium here last season in 3rd place. That disqualification for his suit really got to him at Oberstdorf, and ever since then, he's not been the Andy Kofler we saw winning in Sochi, winning in Engelberg. And as a result of that, Kofler out 32nd and doesn't make the cut for the second round. So there's one major shock. Freund now. surely he's not going to go the same way, this 24-year-old who missed out on the Polish leg of the tour to train at home. And remember, this was the young man who led in the early stages of this season's World Cup before relinquishing the lead to the now absent Gregor Schlierenzauer, and a chance for a bit of a points revenge here. Severin Freund currently in 4th place, about 305 points to be precise, behind Schlierenzauer. Schlierenzauer's closest pursuer is Anders Bardell, 185 points, and he's just around the corner from going. But before him, his Norwegian teammate, Anders Jakobsen, back to winning ways for his 9th career success in Zakopane. Fourth here back in 2008. But no fantastic record in Japan in the sense of wins and podiums. Jan Matura still top of the table. Jakobsen, sort of bumpy ride, but in that 125-meter zone. And this will leave him with quite a lot to do, 125.5. The style marks will again be cut back to probably mid-17s, I would say. And Jakobsen, now in his 28th year from Honifus, not too far away from Vickerson, looking forward to the trip to Vickerson and some ski flying, which comes up next weekend, Saturday and Sunday in Norway on the Giant Hill. And you can see 107 points. That is 21 off the lead. Difficult to see him winning from there. Now Bardell, last man to go, or it's Matura's victory in the sense that he will lead at the halfway stage. Bardell sub 120 in the trial round, but already this season, again, very consistent, the World Cup champion of last season. Victory in Wiesla, 2nd in Zakopane, 3rd in Innsbruck and Lillehammer and Garmisch, 5th in Sochi and Bischofshofen and Lillehammer, 7th in Engelberg, 10th in Kusama. You get the message. This man can lay down a very strong challenge, and he's pretty solid at the end of the flight phase, and the wind just really gusting up now. So it's moved up to over 5 meters per second. Just having a look at the wind monitor, that's in the, well, it's right across the whole of the hill, over the knoll and right down and beyond the calculation line. So it really just has blown up as you see the current leaderboard. And is he going to unclip? I think he might. Always good in this situation just to unclip and just rebuild the position. And he's a real pro, Anders. Trondheimer, 30 years of age. Took him a while to break out of what was a very rich vein of form in Continental Cup to translate that into World Cup. Wind just softening off, still from the front though in all sectors, but now round about 2 meters per second. This is more manageable and it's more equitable. So let's see what he can do. Hill record, he has to equal that to attack the lead, and he's had a really good effort at that, and this will be very good, but he's got strong wind deduction. He's going to lose best part of 20 points, if not 20 and a bit more. So 138, 2 meters short of Norway's Royal Jekkasøy's hill record, which has stood since now, what, 2006? And this time he doesn't get it all his own way from the judges, as you're going to see there. And 19 from Sweden, that goes, along with one of the 16.5s, but he's within 2 meters of Jan Matura going into 4th place. Hilda is the top Norwegian, and this is where we are at the halfway stage. Jan Matura, excellent, leading, and goodness gracious me, wouldn't it be wonderful if he could actually pull off his first ever World Cup success on the hill where he's had a personal best. Kranets the best for Slovenia, Hilda Bardal for Norway, and then Tepes for Slovenia. Neumar was the best for Germany on that first page. Kobayashi the best for Japan. Deschwanden the best for Switzerland. And then Proitz, another Slovenian in there. They've got 3 in the top 10. And Kamil Stock in 10th place. Now, it's only 30 that we need. Now, Frenet of the United States and Schiller tied on 29th place means that is the 30, and Watasi is the man who misses out, along with all of these gentlemen. They take no part. Pity to miss out on Takanabu Okabe. Early stages, it looked as if he might just scrape in, I should say. But also Andy Kufler, another big name casualty. So the top 10, just to remind you, separated by 12.7 points, and that's 7 meters in distance. So we come to the halfway stage, and the boys have got about 15 minutes to get themselves ready, and whilst they're doing just that, as you see a reprise of the top 3, we're going to switch back to Australia, to Melbourne, for a roundup of the Australian Open. Andy Murray nicely through, and when we last left, it was Laura Robson fighting back for Great Britain, of course. So we'll take a pause, catch up with the news from Melbourne, and then we'll be back in good time for the second round here to see whether Jan Matura can achieve his first ever World Cup success.
Take off.